when you bite into them, it just doesn't explode everywhere. We didn't know that, or at least I didn't, because we went to breakfast one morning in Shanghai, and we're sitting at community tables at this restaurant. A lot of stuff in China is community tables because there's 1.3 billion of them, and everything's community. So we're sitting there, and I believe we're on the same side of the bench at this community table. And it's my first soup dumpling, right? Coming out of the oven, super not out of the oven, coming out of the steamer, super hot, right? And I go in to bite. I don't puncture it. I just bite right into it, and it just squirts right in this guy's mouth, like not in his mouth, but in his face. And he goes, "Oh, oh!" I'm not going to do the Chinese voice, but he's livid. And he's like 2 feet from me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm assuming he's saying, "What are you, fucking stupid?" Or something. Whatever you're fucking stupid. Are you fucking stupid in Chinese? That's that's what he said to me in Chinese, in Mandarin. He was pissed, and I'm like, sorry. How do you say I'm sorry about squirting you in the face with a soup dumpling at 9 a.m? Very difficult.
So that was at the beginning of Jordan Day. So,
yes.
Because we had Jordan Day, and you gave me a couple days to prepare, because I don't know. I'm not the best. I've gotten better, but I'm not the best at researching. I'm very good with just like, I want to go here. There's like a few things that look cool, and I'll figure it out when I get there. That's why we have a good balance. You've got more of a plan, more of an itinerary. Though it's very fluid, I just kind of like show up because I want to say I'm bad at research, but I'm really just lazy is kind of what it boils down to. Not good at it. Don't really care to do it until last minute, and rarely actually works out.
Yes.
In this case, it definitely the big thing that I tried to do didn't work out, because we started the day so late. So we went and grabbed some coffee. Start off the day with a nice coffee and some tea at. There's a really good shop. It's called Seesaw Coffee. Super hip, bunch of like, I don't know. It was a really nice spot. And from there we went to the soup dumpling place where you burn this guy's face with your soup dumpling.
hot soup.
It was. I got a kick out of it. I'm sure that the
guy got a burn out of it.
He got a burn out of it. But from there was a temple that I wanted to go check out.
I remember that. Yeah.
You remember the temple? Yeah, it was right in the center of the city, so it wasn't like we didn't have to get. It was just right around the corner from the soup dumpling place. Actually, I believe it wasn't that far from where we were at. But we went there, and again, tons of gold. I remember gold everywhere. The bunch of traditional Chinese art. I don't know if anybody was still living there or not. I don't believe so, but they definitely had it set up, and this could have just been like exhibits or whatever, but they definitely had it set up as if it were inhabited. Checked out this temple, walked around. There was I think a ceremony started happening. We threw some coins into a fountain, and then there was some I don't even know. It was like a changing of the guard, but not. There's nothing, or maybe it was changing of the guard. There was I don't remember. There was some crazy ceremony that went on. Pretty fun to watch. Whatever was going on, which was what we realized most of the time. We had no clue what was actually happening. We were just kind of there to witness whatever was going on.
I mean, in day-to-day life, I don't know what's happening in general.
That's very true.
So that is magnified when I'm in China.
Which is that was a conversation that we had later on in the day about familiarity and being comfortable and just travel in general, which is, I think it was something along the lines we weren't concerned, but we brought up what we consider a concern for people traveling in a place where you can't communicate, which is, traveling in Europe is for the most part pretty easy, because you can communicate very, 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 like, more times than not, you don't have any issues communicating with people.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. Is, if I had to bet what the future holds, especially for travel, that miscommunication amongst people who don't speak the same language is about to go away. I'd say give it 20 years. You will be able to speak Mandarin into something at live time, and it'll spit something out to them so they can. I don't know. I don't know what the case will be, but you will be able to talk with somebody in China, like I'm talking to you right now, and they will hear you as if
Yeah.
you spoke Mandarin.
Yeah.
The way technology works, I feel like the biggest thing holding us back as a global world is language. If I can't speak the same language that you do, we're not going to conversate. You're not going to know who I am. I don't know who you are. Nothing's going to get done. There's no
Yep.
progress. If we all spoke the same language, or, I mean, here's the thing. You don't have to speak the same language, but if there's a translator, an AI translator, something we can wear on ourselves that can translate my words into your language, which I feel like, dude, that's right around the corner.
Yeah,
in
it
terms
can't be
of
far
a
off.
decade, 2 decades. Think
It
of
can't
how
be
fast
far off.
technology. I mean, we're about to go to Mars here in 30 years. Like, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And with this whole pandemic thing, just showing how small the world is. Once we can all communicate, it will level the playing field in terms of, dude, Chinese people are just you and I. They just live in China.
Yeah. No,
That's it.
100%. It
That's
is
it.
only a matter of time. I agree with you 100, like completely on that. And but that wasn't so like that was part of the issue, is that because people can't communicate, there's a little bit more fear based off of that, because you don't
100%.
you don't understand what's going on, what the situation is, and it could be in no way whatsoever, I don't know, like dangerous or whatever, use pick your adjective, but that was one thing that we were talking about, that being just familiar, and even just acting like you feel comfortable and that you belong in a place is going to allow people to just assume that, oh, you're just here, this is where
It's
you want to be.
for sure. It's more body language than
I was,
anything.
I was just going to say,
If
body
you and I
language
are,
is huge.
if we're chill, then everyone else is chill. We don't look
Right.
threatening. I mean, I
Right.
got these big old arms. You got those big old calves. I mean, we look physically threatening because we're so jacked,
Yep.
but like, our mannerisms aren't threatening.
Right. And I think that's obviously that's a huge thing. Is just showing, don't let people see your fear.
No, that's
You
why I
know,
have these glasses.
my peripheral is a little compromised.
I can't see anything.
But I remember that being one of the conversation, like subject of conversation that we had while we were walking through Shanghai, is like, we don't appear to belong here, but if you act like you do, people aren't going to question. It's all fake it till you make it. If you have the confidence in where you are and what you're doing, nobody's going to question you.
Yeah, I
Right?
think fake it till you make it is one of the most underrated kind of idioms or trains of thought that you could possibly have. I love fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think I've done it before I knew what I was doing in my career. I faked it till I made it, and I got fired multiple times because I was faking it. But then I eventually made it.
Well,
And I think traveling's the same way. You got to act like you belong, because if you seem like an easy target, a mark, the gypsies are going to get you. The shyster is going to get you. You're going to get one. You're asking for trouble.
yeah. Yep. No, yeah, exactly. And we definitely found ourselves in some, like, later that night, we found ourselves what felt like a very sketchy situation, because we went to this bar that you found in this back alley, the middle of nowhere, with the neon sign. Do you remember what the name of the club was? What the bar was?
33 or something. You remember?
I wish it was Dada. You remember DADA?
Yeah. That old record spinning shop or something like that.
And that's where we met the there was a group of like Americans and Canadians there celebrating somebody's birthday. They were there for like school or teaching or something. And we met this dude who he got in a fight with. He was on a skateboard. Got in a fight, cracked some guy over the head with it, and then went to jail.
Oh,
But
yeah.
do you remember? It's something like so bizarre. I don't remember this
Yeah, I
dude's
do
name.
know.
Yeah, he got in a
Not
fight.
important.
Not important at all, but
he was right. Okay, so he was right. This Chinese guy was fucking with him and like assaulting him, and then he hit him with a skateboard in self-defense, and then apparently If you're a Chinese person and you see like a skirmish going on, especially a white person hitting a Chinese person with a skateboard, you're going to assume the white guy perpetrated this crime.
Yeah.
So they all went after him, not knowing that he was defending himself. And that's the most I can remember of that story.
I think that was pretty much it as well.
I can't remember. He didn't go to jail or anything.
No, I think he was there on a teaching visa. So I think he probably had some issues with that at some point. But there was one other thing. Remember the bartender was tapping the keg? The tap blew and smacked him in the face. You remember that? I think you're the only person that saw that.
Yeah.
And then he tried to buy a shirt.
fantastic.
He tried to buy a shirt off of him.
Did I? Why? What was his shirt?
I don't know. I think there was a cat on it or something. But you were trying to buy
that does sound like me.
You're trying to buy a shirt off of his body, and he wouldn't sell it to you, and you wouldn't let it go. But so that was a night. Yeah, you failed that, and then we went to a jazz club. You remember the jazz club? One of the
Sure do.
That music was unreal. So good.
Yeah, that woman, the singer, is a big regret of mine. She's like, "Come dance with me on stage."
Yep.
If I had, I don't know why, because I feel like I had enough drinks to do it, but I was like, "Nah, I'm not going up there."
Yep.
I really should have. I really screwed the pooch on that one because that would have been a great story.
Yep. But you didn't.
So that's a lesson. That's a lesson to everybody. If a jazz singer in the back streets of Shanghai comes up to you, and most likely she was a man. Her Adam's apple gave her away. She was a cross-dresser, let's be honest. And she goes, "Come dance with me." Just go dance with her. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
So that was
that's what I remember.
Yeah,
didn't go up. It was a great night. It was jazz night in Shanghai.
Yep. It was, and I think we were on a jazz kick. So I think we went out the second night as well and went to another place.
Yep.
Actually, that place was closed though, and that's when we got approached nonstop by several women of the night.
Yes.
And the dude that would be in charge of employing them, I guess.
A pimp.
Yeah, a pimp. Yeah, it got kind of dicey there for a second. Very, very persistent. After our.
Well, I mean, it's all about that hustle, baby. Come on.
Yeah, they were hustling. That is for sure.
They knew we had dough.
Yep.
And it's clear that we weren't from around there.
Very, very clear.
But no, we did not partake.
We got away unscathed. Only to the next day take a bullet train to Beijing.
Yes.
Which this was exciting.
Great story.
Because
so I get there. We got up to the window, and stop me if I'm wrong on this, and we said, just 2 tickets to Beijing, please.
That was it.
Something like that. And they're like, okay, paid $50 US, whatever that was in yen. I don't even know if it's yen.
I don't know either.
But they're like, okay, yeah, pay this. And we're like, oh, that's not bad. Very affordable. So we get up to the train, platform, and the porter is like, no, you're not here. We go up to like the coach, and they're like, no, you go to the front. We're like, oh shit, are we in business? And then so we go to business class, and they're like, no, keep going forward. And we get up to the front car that is, essentially the one right behind where the conductor sits. And there's 4 seats in there, and they're like, yeah, you're in here. And we're like, there's gotta be some sort of mistake. But we look at each other, we don't say a word.